Good afternoon, the fall equinox. It's a great opportunity for us to take a look at all the wonderful things that you can do that are super simple and super easy ways to celebrate the fall equinox and the fall season. And you all know that I love simple, elegant solutions. And so these are wonderful things that you can just easily fit right into your own life. Many of us are very busy. We don't have time for elaborate rituals or what have you, but here are 6 super simple ways that we're going to look at today that you can acknowledge this second harvest festival of the year. So most of the years, this date will fall on or near September 21st. Of course, this year it's the 22nd. And this is the point in the year that marks when daylight will begin to decrease very steadily until the winter solstice. The dark times are coming. And then, of course, at solstice, the daylight starts to increase again very gradually until we get into June. Because I follow those natural rhythms of the earth, I observe all of her seasonal cycles as special events. And these can be small celebrations. They don't have to be elaborate. There's no special list of things to have or do in order to make it just right. You've heard me say many times that there is no one-size-fits-all solution, and the same is true with designing your celebrations and your acknowledgments. So with that in mind, we are going to take a look at 6 super simple ways. So the first is to just put on a harvest meal. If you have a garden, you know that it's probably like super producing right about now. You can make it a gathering for not just family, but also your friends. Serve that very simple meal that features all of those fresh, homegrown vegetables. And if you don't have a garden, you can swing by your local farmer's market and support local agriculture in your area. Maybe pumpkins and apples. Get creative. Do your cooking outside even, which we love cooking over an open fire here, and so it's something that we do very often, at least as much as we're able to. Table decorations can be things like wildflowers. Right now there's a lot of different things blooming that you can choose from. If you have cultivated flowers, there's probably something that you can use from there also. And then of course eat outside, where you can take in the natural world around you, appreciating very fully these last wonderful days before we get into the cooler, colder weather. So the next thing then is that you can do a protective amulet. You can either create it from scratch or use something that you already have to create a protective amulet. I use a very simple cuff bracelet. This is mine. And you can empower that to be that protective amulet. So if you have a piece of jewelry that you really like, you might choose that. Or you might choose a found object like a shell or a stone or something else that you would find in your local natural environment. And to imbue your item with this protective energy, just hold it in your hand and simply set the intention that it will be a protective amulet for you. And of course, you can also combine that with an outdoor meditation, which I think is a really lovely way to further empower your chosen item. So then the next thing is fall decorations. You know, this is a great time to either do up the whole house or maybe just your altar, whatever it is that works for you and your personal style. Natural decorations are out there to be had: pumpkins and corn stalks, hay or straw bales, gourds. I found a beautiful little white pumpkin that's here behind me at one of the local Amish farmers. There's loads of different options available. And you can also incorporate other natural items such as acorns and apples, colored leaves if you have some of those happening. We have just the tiniest bit of color where I am in Pennsylvania. Any natural item, of course, can be composted when you are done with it. So that's actually even a bonus for decorating with those natural items. And then swap out your summer stuff for your fall stuff. This is one of my favorite things. I get to get the boots out and the scarves and the sweaters. And I haven't seen them since I put them away. So it's time to freshen them up and get reacquainted with them. I love being able to shop my own closet, which is what this allows me to do. The other good swap out that I love for this time of year is to swap out hot tea from your cold tea of summer to the hot tea. I think those are some of the best pleasures of fall: hot tea, sweaters, boots, and scarves. If you do try a hot tea, either make or purchase a new blend and give that a go. You can make it something that's very seasonally appropriate or just whatever calls to you. So then the next thing is to make some fire cider. This is something that I do every year. There are probably hundreds, maybe even thousands of recipes available online. A Google search will lead you to probably more than you ever thought was possible. And then just pick one that resonates with you. There is no right or wrong way to do it. You can customize the recipe using whatever you have on hand or whatever you like. I usually use things like onions and garlic and ginger, turmeric, thyme. I use lemon and sometimes oranges. It kind of depends what I have on hand at the time that I'm making it. And just as a side note though, be sure to choose the vinegar that has the mother. You want to make sure you get something like Bragg's or another brand that has that wonderful mother in it to give you the best possible fire cider for you. I always keep some in the fridge because you just never know. So that's another option for you. I do have a blog post. If you visit the blog post, there is a link to Rosemary Gladstar's recipe. I love Rosemary Gladstar. She's one of my favorite herbalists, and so you can definitely snag her recipe and give fire cider a go if you don't already have one. Then the last thing that I have for you is to dust off your crock pot. I have been giving mine quite a workout in the last few days. Either homemade soup or a batch of bone broth. These are wonderful ways to celebrate the seasonal changes and super healthy too. My general rule of thumb is that anything that has more than 5 ingredients is something that you probably do not want, and especially if it's stuff on the label that you don't know what it is. I became a very clean eater a few years ago when I came down with, very suddenly, a lot of food allergies. So I advocate for everyone reading every label every time. You might not know this, but a lot of times food products don't have a standard recipe. So what you get today may be very different than what you bought last week. So it pays to read those labels and to really know what's in that food. Here's a quick tip, is to just go around the outside of your supermarket and just buy the stuff around the outside and not the stuff that's in the center aisles. So I'll step down off my soapbox now. So those are 6 very simple ways to have a little bit of a celebration, a harvest meal. You could create a protective amulet. You could do fall decorations, your summer stuff for fall stuff. You can make fire cider, and then also you can dust off your crock pot and make yourself either a big batch of homemade soup or a bone broth. I think these are all wonderful ways to celebrate the seasonal changes that we have going on right now. So I hope this season brings you so much joy, so many blessings, and so much love into your life. I would love to hear from you what all of your traditions are. Please share them in the comments, and let's inspire each other, because maybe there's a ton of good ideas that we can share as a way to help each other to celebrate this fall season. All right, that is everything that I have for you today. And again, I'm sending you all so many blessings and so much love for this fall season. I hope that you will join me again. I will see you next time. Take care.